Welcome to Live Interactive English. I'm Matt.
And I'm Kiki, and Matt, I am wearing the color of something we are going to talk about today.
Oh, that's right, you are, because today we're talking about an article which is butter versus margarine, the great spread war.
Oh, and it is also a great debate for a lot of people. Do you like butter or margarine better?
I definitely like butter better. Butter better. It's almost, it's almost in the word.
Yeah.
And it just has a better taste and a better feel in your mouth, and somehow it's just more satisfying to eat. It just feels better.
Yeah.
How about you? Are you a butter girl or a margarine girl?
I am definitely a butter girl. I just like the flavor. I don't know. I don't really taste any flavor in margarine, right? Have you noticed that?
Yeah, it has much less of the flavor. It just it has the fattiness, but not a lot of flavor.
And I don't like the film that it leaves in your mouth. I don't eat margarine that often, but when I do, I don't really like. Sometimes some cakes are made with margarine, like the cream, the fresh cream, they might use margarine instead, and I don't really like that texture either.
Oh, really? Okay, I don't know if I've ever noticed the difference between using butter or margarine in cakes, or if I've ever been told like this is made with margarine.
Yeah, you'll notice it.
All right.
Well, but speaking of texture, that's another thing. I don't like biting into butter though.
You don't like a nice pineapple bun with a big slice of butter inside?
No, I like it when the butter is melted.
Okay, so you need a hot pineapple bun with butter inside.
Yeah.
All right, well, I don't mind biting into butter. I think sometimes a cold bun with a nice bit of butter inside is also nice, but also a hot bun with melted butter is delicious too.
Okay, well, let's learn a little bit more about butter and margarine.
Butter and margarine are both yellow spreads that go great on sandwiches and toast. They look alike and serve similar purposes, but how are they different? Butter is made by churning milk or cream until the fat is separated off, and it has been around for thousands of years. In fact, a tablet from around 2500 BC shows the different stages of butter production in great detail. Margarine, on the other hand, is only around 150 years old. It was invented in France by Hippolyte Maige-Mourier as a cheap alternative to butter that could be supplied to French soldiers. Unlike butter, it is made from oils, water, and many other ingredients. Nowadays, the oils are usually plant-based, but originally they often came from beef and whale fat.
Hello everyone, today we are looking at an article called Butter versus Margarine, the Great Spread War. So these are two kinds of spreads, and a spread is something that you can put on bread or on toast. So things like butter and margarine, but also things like jams, jellies, or peanut butter are things that are spreads. So let's take a look at this debate about, which spread is better, butter or margarine.
All right. Butter and margarine are both yellow spreads that go great on sandwiches and toast. They look alike and serve similar purposes, but how are they different? So a lot of times we hear people say, oh, use butter, it's better than margarine, it's healthier. But we don't really know why one might be better than the other or how it's actually made.
Yeah, a lot of people don't even know, that they're from different sources and they're completely different products, but they're used for the same thing. Butter is made by churning milk or cream until the fat is separated off, and it has been around for thousands of years. In fact, a tablet from around 2500 BC shows the different stages of butter production in great detail. So I've actually, made butter before, and it's very easy. So it's no wonder that it's been around for so long, because all it really takes is having some milk that hasn't been processed. So it's called full fat milk, all the fat's in it, and you just have to, well, like shake it or move it enough that the fat in the milk will join together and then separate from the liquid milk, and then you have butter. It's very easy, so it's no wonder that it's been around for so long.
Right.
So we know it's been around that long because of a tablet that had the different stages of production. So a tablet is a flat piece of metal or wood, or sorry, stone, metal or wood, and it's usually used for writing on or, inscribing, putting words on this thing. So it's almost like if you think of something that's the shape of a book, but it's made from stone, wood, or metal. So there's no pages, it's just one tablet. So, for example, the stone tablet broke when it fell on the floor.
Hello， 大家好，我是 Hanny。今天的课程是关于奶油跟人造奶油之间的抹酱之战。标题写到 The Great Spread War。那么 spread 在这边是当名词，就是表示抹酱，而 margarine 则是人造奶油。好，奶油跟人造奶油都是黄色抹酱，非常适合搭配三明治、烤面包。它们看起来很类似，用途也相似，可是其实成分不一样哦。奶油是透过搅拌牛奶或鲜奶油，直到脂肪被分离出来而成的。那它已经存在了数千年。事实上，大约在西元前2500年的一块碑文就有详细的显示奶油生产的不同阶段。好，我们看单字 tablet。tablet 它表示杯、牌或是匾。Matt 老师在解释单字时用到一个动词是 inscribe，inscribe 表示刻、雕或是题写。那这边有一个重点，我们进入文法时间。这边要介绍的是 something or somebody be around， 可以表达某人或某事物存在、出现。be around 常常用现在完成式来表达已经存在一段时间，那常常会搭配 for 或是 since 来使用。举例来说 ，The custom has been around for thousands of years。那个习俗已经存在数千年了。好，接回课文中。
Margarine, on the other hand, is only around 150 years old. It was invented in France by Hippolyte Maury as a cheap alternative to butter that could be supplied to French soldiers. Okay, so margarine was something that was created later on to substitute or to act in place of butter. Okay, so in this case, they wanted to bring butter to the French soldiers, so they created this margarine alternative. And alternative, the word is a noun, and it basically means something that's different or another option or another choice. And in this case, of course, we have margarine being an alternative choice for butter. An example sentence is, honey can be used as an alternative to sugar in this recipe.
All right, so getting back to our article, unlike butter, it is made from oils, water, and many other ingredients. Okay, so margarine, unlike butter, is made from many ingredients.
Right.
So butter is just, like I said, you can just shake
From
some
whole,
milk.
Right,
So-
whole milk, whole with its full fat.
Yeah, but margarine needs many ingredients. Nowadays, the oils are usually plant-based, but originally they often came from beef and whale fat. It's interesting because I think, I'd like to try the beef fat margarine. I think that sounds like it would probably be pretty tasty.
Yeah. That would, if it didn't have all these other ingredients that we're not familiar with or chemical ingredients, if it was from beef fat or even whale fat, I might try that.
Maybe. All right, so this was originally, it could have been made from beef and whale fat. So when something is originally done in a way, that means it was the way it was first done, or from the start, it was the way that it was done. And this is an adverb, so we use this to show that something was done this way since it began. So an example sentence, originally, this room had green walls, but I have painted them white.
Okay, so we've learned a little bit about how or the ingredients used to make butter versus margarine. We're going to learn a little bit more after the break.
那至于人造奶油的历史只有150年左右，当时它被发明来作为供应法国士兵的奶油廉价替代品。那它是由油、水还有许多其他的成分制成的。那最初这些油通常是来自牛脂或者是鲸脂，也就是鲸鱼的油脂这样子。那现在则通常是用植物油。好，我们看单字 alternative。它可以形容替代的、可供选择的，也可以当名词来表达替代品、可供选择的事物。那么之后接了 to 加名词，就可以表达什么什么的替代品。再看到 originally 这个副词，它表示起初、原本。好，接回到课文中。
People generally prefer the taste of butter, as it is creamier and richer. However, margarine is often cheaper and has a longer shelf life. Moreover, margarine is popular with vegans, as it rarely contains animal products. Though butter and margarine may have some things in common, they are actually quite different foods. But no matter which you prefer, they have both more than earned their place in the modern refrigerator.
Welcome back. Before the break, we learned about how butter and margarine are different. Now let's talk a little bit about its taste.
Okay, so let's get into today's article. People generally prefer the taste of butter as it is creamier and richer. However, margarine is often cheaper and has a longer shelf life. Okay, when we talk about something's shelf life, we mean how long it can stay good for on the shelf, or how long before the product expires. So in this case, margarine has a longer shelf life, means you can probably buy a large tub of margarine and keep it in your fridge for a very long time. Whereas butter, because it's more natural, it doesn't last very long and it goes bad, and you have to check the date and make sure your butter has not gone bad or spoiled.
Right. And even margarine, if you don't open it, it comes in a can. So if you don't open it, you can also leave it outside of the fridge before you use it. All right, back to the article. Moreover, margarine is popular with vegans as it rarely contains animal products. Okay, so this margarine, it's not made from actual milk, or not anymore. It's not made from milk or the beef or whale fat anymore. It's mostly from plants, so vegans can eat it. And here we have the adverb moreover, which basically means in addition to something. So an example sentence is, I don't want to go for a walk because it's raining. Moreover, I'm feeling very tired.
Okay, so we mentioned vegans. So a vegan is someone who doesn't eat any animal products. So that means meat, like, beef or pork, and it also means fish, and also things made by animals like eggs or even milk, and for some extreme vegans, even things like honey, which are made by bees, which are also animals. So for example, we had to prepare a special meal for her without beef because she's a vegan.
Mm-hmm. And of course, we also have the word product, which is a noun, and it's basically something or someone that comes out of after being produced or made. Okay, so for example, it is something that you can sell, or you are the product of your parents. Okay. They created you, they made you. And a product is basically like, when a factory, they will make things that people are able to use or consume. Okay, so an example sentence is, the company will release a new product at the start of next year.
课文提到，人们通常比较喜欢奶油的味道，因为它比较滑顺，而且比较浓郁。那不过，人造奶油则通常比较便宜，而且保存期限更长。此外，人造奶油受到纯素主义者的喜爱，因为它很少含有动物产品。好，单字 moreover 这个副词它可以表达此外而且 ，product 它表示产品。那文中的 shelf life 是指食品的保存期限。这时候 Matt 老师他有用到一个动词是 expire。expire 是拼作 expire， 那它表示期限到期、期满的意思。好，接回到课文中。
Okay, getting back to our article. Though butter and margarine may have some things in common, they are actually quite different foods. But no matter which you prefer, they have both more than earned their place in the modern refrigerator.
Okay, so I guess after reading more about margarine, everyone always thinks that, oh, butter and margarine, they're the same thing. But after this article, I think we kind of have to separate them. They're similar, but different people might have a better use. We don't like margarine, but if we were vegan, we wouldn't have another choice.
That's right. It's good for vegans, or also if you're trying to save money, it might be cheaper to have margarine, or even if you have a restaurant that you want to have a lot of margarine around and not worry about it going bad, it might be better to keep margarine than to keep butter.
Right. And for example, maybe if we were going camping for like 2 weeks, let's say, I wouldn't bring a stick of butter. I would probably bring some margarine.
Okay, yeah, so margarine will last longer. So there's a lot of good uses for margarine. And, some people might even prefer it.
That's true. Okay, well, that's all for today's episode. We will see you next time.
Goodbye.
那课文最后提到说，尽管奶油和人造奶油可能有一些共同点，可是它们实际上是相当不同的食物。无论你比较喜欢哪一种，它们在现代冰箱当中都值得占有一席地位。文中用到 earned their place 是表达赢得了他们的地位，在这边就是指说在冰箱当中占有一席之地。那它还在前面加上 more than 是用来强调极为或是非常值得的意思。这边有2个重点，我们要进入文法时间。好，我们来看第一个重点是 have something in common， 表示有相同的什么什么。以下介绍2种常见用法，一个是 A and B have something in common， 另一个是A have something in common with B， 其中的 something 也常常会用 something, a lot, nothing 等等去表达它相同的程度。我们造2个例句。Julie and I have a love of music in common。我跟 Julie 都热爱音乐。另一个例句是 The twins have almost nothing in common except their appearance。那对双胞胎除了外表，几乎没有任何共同点。好，那第2个重点是 no matter 加上 WH 疑问词加主词加动词，表示说不论怎么样，不管怎么样。No matter 是指无论不管，后面可以接 WH 疑问词所引导的子句。我们要表达说选择哪一种什么什么的时候，这时候则用 which 接名词。好，这边造2个例句。No matter when you need me, I'll be there。无论你何时需要我，我都在。另一个例句是 No matter which path you choose in life, there will always be challenges。无论你选择哪一条人生道路，总是会遇到挑战。好，那么以上这些讲解，同学别走开，马上回来哦。
Butter and margarine are both yellow spreads that go great on sandwiches and toast. They look alike and serve similar purposes, but how are they different? Butter is made by churning milk or cream until the fat is separated off, and it has been around for thousands of years. In fact, a tablet from around 2500 BC shows the different stages of butter production in great detail. Margarine, on the other hand, is only around 150 years old. It was invented in France by Hippolyte Maille-Mourier as a cheap alternative to butter that could be supplied to French soldiers. Unlike butter, it is made from oils, water, and many other ingredients. Nowadays, the oils are usually plant-based, but originally they often came from beef and whale fat. People generally prefer the taste of butter, as it is creamier and richer. However, margarine is often cheaper and has a longer shelf life. Moreover, margarine is popular with vegans, as it rarely contains animal products. Though butter and margarine may have some things in common, they are actually quite different foods. But no matter which you prefer, they have both more than earned their place in the modern refrigerator.
There is a very unique church located in Puli that many people flock to witness its breathtaking design and serene atmosphere. Even though it is now located in Taiwan, the paper dome actually has an origin story that started in Japan. Takatori Catholic Church was burned down in the 1995 Great Hanshin earthquake. The paper dome was built as a temporary gathering place. It offered great support for the people. The paper dome was taken apart in 2005 and later shipped to Taiwan. In 2008, the paper tubes were put back together in Taomi Village. The paper dome was opened on the 9th anniversary of the 9/21 earthquake. The paper dome is supported by 58 paper tubes. Each tube is 1.5 centimeters thick, 33 centimeters in diameter, and 5 meters tall. It weighs about 70 kilograms and is able to support up to 7,000 kilograms. Because Puli was a paper-making center in Taiwan, local paper makers also added their own designs to the church. The Shaking Memory art installation in the park is an iron boat. It is made with steel from houses that fell down in the 9/21 earthquake. Visitors can stand on the boat and experience the sounds of the earthquake. The work reminds people to work together and support each other. In addition, the light of love and mutual help art installation is like a ring. It means the spirit of togetherness and mutual love after the earthquake. Seeing the paper dome in person is a breathtaking experience that I highly recommend. So now that you know more about the history and structural design of the church, why don't you schedule a visit to the paper dome and see it for yourself?